fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, guys, welcome back to Broke Bets. Lane here. I know we've been on a layoff. Back with you here. Got my co-host with me, Carson. What's up?
Woo! We're back.
Yes, sir. Coming off of a sweep. Get into these picks. So, first fight, guys. Zygiamantas Ramaska versus Nathan Fletcher. I gotta go with Fletcher here. He's the grappler in this fight. Ramaska's, he's a striker, throws a lot of strikes actually, but every single time I've seen somebody attempt to take down Ramaska, they're getting it. And Fletcher's quick ability on the ground to transition to different submissions makes him dangerous, and I like him. I'm honestly going to say a first-round submission. I just don't think the takedown defense or anything literally looks too good from Ramaska. So, what do you think here?
Yeah, Fletcher's 8-1, and then 6 of his 8 wins are by submission, and 3 of those coming in that first round. So, he likes to make quick work of that grappling game, and this is your striker versus grappler matchup. Ramaska, yeah, like you said. He's finished his, well, besides the Ultimate Fighter, but he's finished his last 3 opponents via KO, so he's going to want to keep this one on the feet. But yeah, I think Fletcher will be able to find those early takedowns and find a submission when they're dry. Right.
Also, up a weight class here for Fletcher. A little curiosity on maybe how that would play out, but when your takedown defense is already so bad, I feel like that weight difference shouldn't be a huge problem coming up here. So, yeah, short and sweet. Fletcher submission round 1. Okay, guys, for the next fight, we have Andrade Petroksi versus Dylan Budka. Got to take Petroksi here. Dylan Budka, not UFC caliber, not UFC ready. There is that wrestling background, but in a fight like this, it just doesn't even do anything for him. Both these guys really aren't strikers, and I just have to say Petroski's the stronger grappler, and he's also just going to have the submission advantage. Budka's not really doing much with those takedowns, and should be a pretty one-sided fight in my mind, and Petroski's not even that good. What do you think? I'm going to go submission round 2.
Yeah, Budka's just absolutely god-awful. In his first UFC fight, he decided to not throw a single punch in that fight, so possibly Petroksi can beat this guy up on the feet too, since, he might be throwing a punch, and Budka won't. Budka will be forcing takedown attempts, and I think Petroksi can catch him in a submission.
Yeah, I mean, guillotine should be there. Someone like Budka too. He just doesn't know how to rest his body. Most of the time, he's just clinch fighting on the fence. And Dana signing him, I think he just did it because he has a story. Like, this guy was like some guy who is somewhat homeless, kind of like a Joe Pyfer story, except for no talent. Sorry, dude. That's the truth. I just feel like Budka is, he's just not set up here to win fights in the UFC with his skill set, and being a boring grappler is not what they really need anyway. So Petroski already takes that role.
Petroski has been KO'd 3 times all of his losses, so maybe Budka can find a Hail Mary, but he would have to throw a punch, and I don't know if he will. So.
Right. All right. Petroski, submission round 2. Okay, guys, for the next fight, we have Jaqueline Amorim versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Pretty bad fight here. Amorim is just shown she's ground game girl with 1 round of cardio. Gotta pick her here just because of the credentials and the jiu-jitsu, and Dennis to have better top control, but Vanessa, if she never jumped in Joe Rogan's arms, she never would be in the UFC anymore. And, she just likes to pull guard and things like that, which, in this case, Amorim, was doing that in some of her previous fights, like against Sam Hughes, but in this instance, Vanessa Demopoulos is, if she pulls guard, Amorim will happily invite just going into her guard. So minutes should add up on the Amorim side. I'm going to say a decision win, but maybe a funky decision.
Yeah, I anticipate most of this fight being on the mat here. And I think Amorim will win more of those minutes, but, it's a woman's fight. I mean, Demopoulos could transition into some better positions and land a few good strikes. So never know here, but yeah, I like Amorim by decision here.
Simple as that.
Demopoulos never been finished before. Amorim never been finished before. So I think this one goes long.
All right, Amorim by decision. Okay, guys, for the next fight, we have Gabriel Santos versus Yizha. Taking Gabriel Santos. Yizha, second time on the road to UFC, lost to Jianyan Li in a close fight, but mostly he was just trying to get his grappling going, struggled to do a ton of damage. Some people thought he won. Pretty well-rounded fighter overall, but I just think Gabriel Santos has a pretty complete package here. I mean, that David Onama loss aged pretty decently. Got hit by an uppercut that David Onama could easily knock out many featherweights with. But I think Santos just is good everywhere. He's got good grappling, good striking, high volume, and he's in there to fight with good cardio too. So he's got a lot of things going his way. I'm going to say he gets the decision win here.
Yeah, Santos is super well-rounded everywhere. 3 wins by KO, 4 by submission. I think Yizha just hasn't fought the same competition as Santos. Obviously, Santos on a 2-fight skid, but close split decision with Murphy, and then, like you said, David Onama. Onama, I mean, he's looked pretty good of late, so yeah. I mean, it's aged decently well, that loss, so yeah. Santos by, what do you like?
I just think decision. I think he's just in a point fight. You come off a knockout like that. I know it's a year ago. I think you just take it a little bit easy. Don't get hit too much type deal.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right. Santos by decision. Okay, guys, for the next fight, we have Andrade Lima versus Felipe dos Santos. I'm going on the Felipe dos Santos side. This is a razor-close one, though. I feel like, Lima got a nice matchup with Raposo. Missed weight, had the advantage in that category. But in the Igor fight, Igor started to kind of break him down before the biting incident. And it looked like the tides were kind of turning in that fight. I feel like Felipe dos Santos does really well in these war-type fights. And sure, he got taken down by Altamirano like 9 times, but overall, there's not going to be really grappling in this fight, I don't see. So I think this will be a little stand-up battle and a little slugfest. I'm curious how this won't play out. I think it's going to be tough to call, but I'm going to go with Santos by decision.
Yeah, this should be a really good fight. Andrade Lima 9-0, and Dos Santos 8-1. Only loss being to Mikel Kapp on short notice. So really looking forward to this one, but I lean towards Andrade Lima here in this one. He's obviously got to make weight and be all good with that. But I really like his leg kicks and how measured he is. I think he'll be very patient and counter Dos Santos when he's charging in. So, yeah, I like Lima here, but it'll be a really close fight here.
Huge fan of both these styles as well. Lima did some really cool stuff with using his elbows. Like we've seen Sandhagen before, where he just got the elbow and he'll skip in and cut somebody's head with it, and just some good Muay Thai that he can use. Dos Santos, just more of a slugger, great chin. I mean, we saw in the top fight, he got hit clean a ton as a young dude and ate it all. So.
Yeah, true. Both these guys are both really young. Dos Santos, 23 years old, and Lima, 25. So we could possibly hear their names for a long time here after this.
Right. Fight of the night, in my opinion, probably right here.
Yeah.
All right. Carson's got Lima by decision. I got Dos Santos by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Isaac Dulgarian versus Brendon Marotte. It's just Dulgarian. I mean, There's a reason why he's right now 30-1 favorite. The grappling is just going to be such a huge edge. And he's not facing someone like Christian Rodriguez who can, defend grappling scenarios. And even so, Dulgarian beat the shit out of Rodriguez in round 1. I just don't see Brendon being able to survive that onslaught early, stop the grappling, and just looks like a great MMA grappler here, Dulgarian. So the gas tank shouldn't really worry you too much. He survived in that fight, and he still had a lot of great moments in that fight. So, yeah. Thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a huge step down in competition for Dulgarian to get him back on the winning track. It appears so, and yeah, I mean, obviously you can't do anything with that betting line, so I think we're here with everybody else and picking Isaac Dulgarian.
Not gonna put down 3,000 to win 100.
Yeah, that's the lock of the week here. Isaac Dulgarian.
Yeah, that's probably what actually half the fucking tappers are gonna say. Yeah, I got this guy by finish. That's my bold take for this week.
Yep, I like it too. Should hit.
Yeah.
Isaac Dulgarian round 1 is probably still minus 200 or something crazy.
Oh yeah, all of his wins are within a round, and
all of his wins are in round 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Marotte came in. I mean, who knows? McKinney's just such a kill or be killed fighter. Like if he survived past 5 seconds of being kneed in the head and punched.
Who knows what would have happened?
Exactly, dude. He could have thrown a fucking spinning rolling thunder or some shit and gotten Terrence McKinney like they get Johnny Walker, but this is just not a good matchup, so. Alright. Dulgarian KO round 1. Okay, for the next fight we have OSP versus Ryan Spann. Gotta go Ryan Spann KO round 1. Even though OSP beat Kennedy and Jaqueline, Kennedy's just so hit or miss, and mostly miss, that is. And I'm not saying Ryan Spann isn't. Ryan Spann's very kill or be killed. 3 losses in a row, but, like, I don't know, in a matchup like this where they can go power for power, it just feels like Spann's going to get that knockout. Almost 10 years younger. That's just a big deal in a fight like this at this weight class. So give me Ryan Spann. Might be a bet, honestly, towards that. I'm not completely sure. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Kennedy did hurt OSP too in that fight, and he just refused to go for it, like a complete idiot, like minus whatever he was, and couldn't beat a 41-year-old OSP. So. Who knows? Anything can happen, but yeah, obviously got to go Ryan Spann here. He's super explosive and can find those finishes early, so I assume that's how this one ends, but yeah, obviously you never know.
Yeah, I don't got too much to say. Every time Ryan Spann fights, it's a little bit hit or miss. I would feel a little bit uncomfortable maybe putting money on him because he's just one of those guys. Maybe the under is just always the play with him, it seems like. We'll see. I don't know if OSP could finish him, though, honestly, at this point. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Head kick, maybe. All right, Ryan Spann, KO, round 1. Okay, for the next fight, we have Rongzhu versus Chris Padilla. Gilbert Rongzhu, second stint here in the UFC. Pretty good fighter, 24 years old. Was like 22 when he was in initially, and I thought he's pretty good. Decent power, good stand-up. He was in a competitive fight with Bahamundas at moments, and now just, piecing back some wins, building back the UFC confidence back in here. And Chris Padilla doesn't impress me a ton. He fought Lontop, who just fought Borishev. And, that was a pretty decent fight between Borishev and Lontop, but the takedown to submission just seemed so fast on Lontop. It seemed like his grappling just wasn't great for that instance, and I feel like Rongzhu is just going to be the better striker in this instance and be able to find a finish. I'm going to say a round 2 knockout.
Yeah, Rongzhu has a ton of experience. He's still 24 years old, but has 30 professional fights, so That's crazy to think about how many times he's been in there. So, yeah, I feel like that experience here will help him. He's got really good striking as well too, and I think he can find the chin of Padilla and crack it.
Small cage too should force a little bit more action as well. Like Padilla probably be grappling a lot harder, and Rongzhu be trying to maybe force instances where he can get the knockout. So fun little fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, Rongzhu KO round 2. Okay, for the next fight we have Trevor Peak versus Yanal Ashmouz. Gimme Peak. I don't think Peak's a Palestine man, but in this fight he's gonna be, I think. Ashmouz, I don't think he's the greatest fighter. I mean, the Chris Duncan fight, he hurt his arm, he still fought like shit. He would have fought like shit anyway, I think, in my opinion. We know Peak, though, dude. This guy's just gonna come out, get hit in the face really hard, probably hurt the other guy's hand because of how hard the other guy's gonna hit him in the face, and keep walking through and do damage. And taking him down only gets you more tired, and that's just right into his antics. So I'm going with a round 3 knockout. I don't know. I feel like Ashmouz will get tired, and Peak will just continue to onslaught.
Yeah, Yanal was able to land like that counter left or whatever it was against Sam Patterson, knock him out. That was kind of his opening party, I guess I would say. But then, the dud of a performance against Chris Duncan where he hurt his arm. But, nothing really happened in that fight. So, Trevor Peak, it's Peak week, baby. Super exciting. It feels weird to say that he's been in 3 straight decisions. But obviously all 3 of those fights were super entertaining, and I expect this one to be super entertaining as well. Nobody's knocking out Trevor Peak, and Trevor Peak, I think, will at some point find the chin of Yanal and knock him out, probably by a hammer fist.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. Yeah,
that's right.
I think he does do some crazy shit again, flying hammer fists, all the good stuff. I wouldn't bet on him. I think I've just established myself as not a betting on Trevor Peak guy anymore. I've made the mistake.
Especially on the under too, because it's just Trevor Peak by KO at that point, and under 1.5. Because nobody's knocking out Trevor Peak.
The hard thing is you can't really trust Peak either to pick and choose the right shots to find a knockout. So
he's tend to rush in and has gotten taken down when he's seen possible finishing moments. So
right,
that could be super frustrating as you're betting on this.
Right. All right. Peak KO round 3. Okay, for the next fight we have Matt Schnell versus Alessandro Costa. What's your pick here, Carson?
Yeah, hot take of the week as well here too. I'm picking Alessandro Costa. I like this guy. I'm a huge fan of this guy. He's got really good leg kicks. He's got high guard. He's got good striking, good grappling as well. He did crack Steve Erceg a few times. I think we did point that out, breaking down Erceg versus Kaikar France. And, it was 1-1 going into that third round with Erceg, and Erceg just put the cardio on and just out-grappled him for that third round to secure that win. So
I think he couldn't even take him down, too. He just stalled him on the fence. That was a big part of the round. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Costa. I believe he's with those Diego Lopez guys.
Yep.
He's got a huge high guard protecting his chin most of the time. So, I really like this guy, and I think he'll be finishing Matt Schnell here in this one via KO.
Yeah, he's one of these guys who has a freakish frame. He's like 5'4". His arms are like extremely long for his height. And it's like when you watch the fight, his torso is so short that his elbows go like to his fucking bottom of his ass. I don't know. And then his legs are long, which makes his leg kick's really dangerous, and Matt Schnell is just a fucking layup of a fight. Like, if you have the power that Alessandro Costa has, and you hear you're fighting Matt Schnell, like, you're probably, like, drinking days before the fight because you don't fucking care. And Matt Schnell just, the chin is absolutely gone. We called the submission in the Sumaderji fight and won a bet on it, but, like, he still just got hurt so many times in that fight. It's ridiculous. And
it could have been stopped multiple times before that submission there.
I kind of can't believe how late the odds have been to like his chin. Like, the odds for him to lose by knockout to Nicolau was like plus 300. We hit that. We did Urseg by just Urseg straight, but I also wanted to do him by finish. Those were great odds. I think this is the first time where it's gonna be like minus 300 that Costa wins by knockout, so that might be gone all of a sudden. But
yeah, I do like Costa by finish a lot here in this one. Obviously, just Schnell has just been finished so many times of late. So
yeah, at flyweight,
that's the obvious choice here.
At flyweight too, he's getting flatlined.
Yeah, Costa has a ton of power and submission ability.
Oh, just thought of Chris Taioni. I can't tell what was worse, him hitting you in the face or your head smacking against the ground.
I hope he's reffing this.
Oh my god,
that'd be so funny.
Oh my god, just the funniest thing you could say to a person who has no idea where they are. Anyway, Costa KO round 1. Okay, for the next fight we have Kyle Nelson versus Steve Garcia. I love this fight. Oh my god. Give me Kyle Nelson, man. This is a great underdog spot, if you ask me. Steve Garcia brings a kill or be killed energy to these fights, and he just likes to slug. And someone like Kyle Nelson is someone you just don't want to slug with. He's the stiff dude with big power, and you can't really afford to get hit by him. And we've seen Steve Garcia hurt before. I mean, flat down face punched by Machete. He's been rocked by Shiela Nurden-Becky in one of the first punches of that fight. And a lot of these guys, they're trying to take Steve Garcia down, then they get themselves tired. I think Kyle Nelson's just going to stand and bang with him and find the big punch. So in terms of betting, like, Kyle Nelson's like a wonderful underdog here for the stylistic type of fight. Give me him by round 1 knockout. That's all I see here. I mean, it could easily be a Garcia knockout, but just the odds are just phenomenal for Nelson.
I think what the difference here in this fight will be how defensively sound Kyle Nelson is. I mean, his guard is always super high. He's never really getting hit all that cleanly. Most of them are deflecting off of his arms. And he uses his leg kicks to manage distance. So, in that Bill Algeo fight, it was like very apparent early on that Nelson was clearly going to win that fight, and even the odds were, I think it was like plus 200 or somewhere around there, and it's like, whoa.
Cashed as a plus 200 plus over plus 200 underdog 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
that's ROI, baby.
Yeah, he's not the most entertaining fighter, I would say, but he's obviously going to be fighting for your money and at that dog price. I think it is a good look here as well. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would totally agree with that. Not flashy. He doesn't look like your most entertaining fighter. He's stiff. He's not like, flashy. Just in a slugfest like this, it sets it up. And even the Bill Algeo fight, people were complaining that was stopped early. But, I mean, Algeo's legs were just gone. And a guy you got big power hitting you, it's just not heading in the right direction anyway. So, I don't think Steve Garcia eats that punch. And I'd say vice versa. I think Kyle Nelson wouldn't. So the under's also a good option in this one. Although it's probably, I think it's pretty juiced at like minus 200 or something. But, any more thoughts?
I mean, Kyle Nelson hasn't been finished since 2020, so...
That was Billy Q?
Billy Q, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's he's made a huge improvement, and it's obviously shown in his past 3 fights. I mean, he's looked really, really darn good. So
yeah. All right. Kyle Nelson, KO, round 1. Okay, for the next fight we have Jessica Andrade versus Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva undefeated in the UFC. I think it stays that way. Pretty good strength of schedule other than Victoria Leonardo. And Jessica Andrade, ups and downs here in the UFC. But for the most part, I think Silva's just going to stay on the outside and point strike with her kicks and her speed. Andrade is always just swinging the wide punches, and Silva really even hasn't got hit hardly at all here in the UFC. So, point fight to a decision. That's how I see it.
I think Silva will be doing those her leg kicks, and then when Andrade is rushing in, she'll be slipping away and countering. So, Natalia Silva has really good footwork and can circle that cage, and she's pretty good defensively sound as well too. So, obviously. She's looked great of late, and possibly a future champ on the way. And she looks pretty darn good, too.
Yes.
In more ways than one.
Also, I mean, something I always say about chick fighters, like, if you got takedown defense, you're, like, already top 15. And she's got takedown defense, like, maybe the best in the division. Haven't seen her really on her back for a second. Jazz Vicious couldn't do shit to her. Teresa Bleda, who's a grappler, couldn't do anything to her. And just Arujo, I always fuck her name up. But anyway, they're all kind of struggling to take her down or do anything. But Natalia Silva, point striker, just continuing to win fights. So Silva by decision. All right, guys, welcome to the main event prediction. As always, guys, drop a like, subscribe. Give us the Patreon. We get the bets on there early. Again, swept the last card. So, yeah, you're going to get some nice profit there. Here we are, Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady. I'm doing Sean Brady here. Youth, I think, is a big part of this. To be honest, too, Gilbert, a little bit of the older generation type of guy, in my opinion, more tough than he is technical with his striking, and flinching a lot when JDM was fighting him. And I know his grappling is world class, but so is Brady's, and I think age and Brady really isn't a horrible striker either. I think this is going to be a good fight, but I'm going to go on the Sean Brady side by decision. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good fight. Obviously, Burns has fought pretty much the top of the division for a while here now. But, yeah, I mean, he was winning versus JDM, I do believe so, on the judges' scorecards. Not in my personal opinion, but I obviously had a bet on JDM. So, and then one before that getting hurt against Bilal Muhammad. Yeah, obviously it is what it is there. But
who's that guy?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. But obviously the Hamzat fight previously too was an absolute banger, and a really good fight, 1-1 going into that third round. So I think it'll be more stand-up fight. Obviously both these guys are really good grapplers. When it is that way, it typically will even each other out and mostly be a stand-up fight. And Sean Brady was getting KO'd by that guy.
Yeah, whoever that person is.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I do see
it's aged well, so.
I guess it has, whoever this person, I don't know if they're a champion or something, but yeah, it just feels like Gilbert does have that like knockout power on the feet, and Sean Brady a little bit more hesitant maybe, but size-wise, I would imagine Brady's going to be quite a bit bigger. Maybe at moments he'll just go for a takedown and possibly get it just to assert that, put a stamp on a round, possibly. I don't know. It's an interesting fight. It's hard to make a complete pick on this one. I'm just going to stick with Sean Brady. I know you're going Burns. Yeah, I don't have much else for this one. Do you? Yeah,
I think it should be a really entertaining fight. And, Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Glad it's 5 rounds too. So.
Right. All right. Sean Brady by decision. All right, guys, to recap, Cannonier versus Baralo. Sweep. 3 bets in, 3.15 units out. Starting it off, top of the list, Morales by finish. Easy peasy. I mean, Neil Magny did his gay shit on the cage where he just pretty much humped him, and then the spinning elbow to just going for the ground and pound, which makes me happy. Just that going for that finish. He covered up, made it pretty easy there. But yeah, I mean, Magny's just old, and Morales actually has talent, so that's the difference in that type of fight. And easy money, in my eyes. You had the Cavalcanti and the over here?
Yeah, Cavalcanti and over 2.5 in Ricci Hill fight. Obviously, Hill's been to pretty much a decision in all of her last 15 or so fights, and Ricci's going to decision in all those. So that one hit pretty easily. And then Cavalcanti, I thought that was a clear 30-27 Cavalcanti. One judge saw it 30-27 Nunes. I don't know who that was, but he should probably be fired immediately. Yeah, that scared me when they were saying split decision. I was like, what? How could that possibly be? Yeah, I thought Cavalcanti absolutely destroyed Nunes. Hit with ease, but obviously being split decision doesn't really seem so.
Yeah, I mean, total scare there over in the Ricci Hill fight. I mean, they use a lot of energy, but there's no chance of a finish in those types of fights. So that was easy money. Polishing it off, Borshev and Reese. Borshev, closer fight. Borshev has to be like one of the most talented strikers that just can't seem to make it all fit here in the UFC. Like, he had some clean fucking punches in that fight. Liver shots, which hurt. Lawn top where he couldn't get a finish. A step back uppercut, which like looked like it would have knocked out any normal person, but maybe like the Latino skull or whatever Lawn top's got that's making his chin so fucking good. Survived it. And then Reese was just like, dude, Medina is not UFC caliber. Reese still fought pretty shitty. He had body kicks where he had Medina hurt so bad, and then he would follow it up with like flying knees to the head and completely miss. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, Medina was taunting him the entire fight. I'm not sure why you're taunting him when you're getting your ass beat. Yeah, that was pretty crazy when you're not UFC caliber either. And Jose Medina.
Yeah, also just
but at least you're tough and durable.
What's that?
But at least you're tough and durable.
Oh, as Dana would say. Yeah, and Reese, I mean, that was a big, he definitely performed as a minus 600 or whatever he ended up closing at, but like, this shows you don't bet on that dude in the future as well, when he has a real opponent. I know he had the quick knockout versus Julian Marquez, but like, you gotta see what you're getting from a fight like that, so...
I think it could be good for him in the future, too, getting that 15 minutes of experience, because literally all of his fights were all finished in that first round, and I think he's been in there for a total of like less than 5 minutes prior to that last fight, so they're all ending within like a minute of each other, so maybe in the long run that 15-minute fight is good for him.
All right, well, yeah, that's results. I thought Caio Borralho had a fucking great performance. Good toughness to eat Jared Cannonier's punches and give back a lot of his own. The Marion Santos knockout was pretty crazy. And Francis Marshall on short notice performed extremely well. But yeah. Also, the Con Wang.
Gerald Mershard does it again.
Oh my god, why did I glance over that one? That was a crazy... Yeah.
I think live odds had him at like plus 1,000 too. It was like, he does it again. Edmund Shabazian gasses out. Mershard come from behind. Submission win.
It's
How
unreal.
many times have we seen it?
It's unreal just how like confident the other guy feels and how like Gerald looks like he's a sitting duck, and then all of a sudden there's a tide change and it's over. But yeah.
Yeah, that was super entertaining. Happy for Mershart to pull that off.
Milwaukee man, stand up.
Yeah, and then Kong Wang beating the shit out of Victoria Leonardo.
Yep, that was fast.
She seemed to be all right on the mic too for speaking Mandarin.
Who? What?
Kong Wang. She was saying some goofy stuff on the mic.
Oh, I guess I didn't hear the interview.
We obviously didn't understand it.
All right. Well, guys.
Anywho,
that's the video. Check out the Patreon as always, guys. And peace.
Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. The old doubted me said I couldn't do it. The old said I couldn't do it. Look at me now.